Welcome, friends, to another episode of That Whiskey Show. I am Chris, and this gorgeous lady is my wife, Joan.
Hey.
Tonight, we are going to talk about a corn whiskey. This is out of Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Baby Blue. This is a really good whiskey, and as you can see, we enjoy it. And so we felt that this was definitely worthy to get on the show, do a review about, and talk about. I'm going to hand it over to my wife and let her talk about the distiller and different notes on this. We'll do some tastings and give you our review. So go ahead and take it over.
All right. This is Baby Blue from Balcones, made from blue corn. So the mash bill is significantly different than what you would taste in like a mellow corn or something, even a very high quality corn spirit. Going to be completely different. Also, this is aged in smaller casks for a minimum of 6 months. That doesn't sound like very much, but in a 5-gallon cask, the aging happens a lot quicker than it does in a standard cask.
Right, because being smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And since this is a corn whiskey, it has to be used barrels. So, interesting side note for corn whiskey, if you want to technically be a corn whiskey, you cannot use fresh barrels.
If
you age, you cannot age in fresh barrels. They have to be used.
See, and that's interesting. I did not know that about the corn whiskey. And she had brought up a point about a similar, the difference in corn whiskeys, with this one being blue and then like a mellow corn being a yellow corn. You definitely can tell the difference in taste. We drink both, and I'll tell you, the mellow corn, that's a Heaven Hill product.
Yes.
And so they're a huge distiller, and you can pick up a bottle of the mellow corn for $15. And for $15, you're getting 100 proof corn whiskey that has a really nice flavor to it. It really does. So that's something to also think about if you're getting into some of the corn whiskeys. Give mellow corn a chance. For $15, you really can't go wrong. Because what did you say? This bottle runs around 40?
About 40.
So, because smaller distiller, you're not going to find as much. And that's something, with whiskey, there's this large misconception sometimes that pricing dictates quality. That is not always the case. I'm not saying that sometimes it doesn't. Of course, a really delicious whiskey is going to run you a little bit more.
It costs money to leave it in the barrel.
Right. But also, larger distillers that are mass producing, you can get a really good quality bottle for cheaper. But some of the bottles that are a little bit harder to find, because we don't get this in Nebraska. Wasn't this gifted to us?
This was gifted to us. Jerry Gill, thank you for the Baby Blue.
Thank you very much, Jerry. We appreciate it. So this, though, I can tell right off the bat from the nose, really sweet.
Very, very sweet. So in addition to the high corn concentration, I believe this is 100% blue corn. While it is a higher protein and lower sugar content than yellow corn, it's still corn. So you've still got that corn syrup, corn.
Right. And this is not chill filtered, is it?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Nope, all the natural lipids are going to be in there, and you can actually see the legs forming on the glass.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's got a really nice run to it.
Oily, even.
Mm-hmm. But the notes are fantastic. I mean, you're really getting a lot of caramel in there for sure.
A lot. And I'm thinking these are probably sherry barrels.
The fruit.
Raisins.
Yeah.
So much raisin.
Yeah. A little bit of apple in there, too. Kind of that, I'm getting, would that be Granny apples, the green apples?
Granny Smiths?
Yeah. It's like if you dip that in for Halloween, dip those in caramel.
Caramel, maybe a little cinnamon, too.
Right, that's kind of... Oh,
yeah, I can't,
so
that
good.
raisin note, so predominant.
So good. This is a really smooth whiskey. Very sweet, has a real nice finish to it. It doesn't, you're not getting a lot of alcohol burn with this. Is this 46%?
I think this is about 96 proof. Yeah, 46% ABV, so 92 proof.
So, I mean, still a nice, good proof, but very smooth. You don't get a whole lot of that ethanol burn at the end, on
Somebody
the finish.
who is not into whiskey might be into this.
Yes, this would honestly
It's definitely got the sweetness and the approachability to be
very
kind of an
good
entry level
starting whiskey. If you have some friends that you want to introduce to whiskey, this would be a good one to start people on.
Very much so, yeah.
Definitely, I would not recommend, because, I've tried them all, and, I've said I'm not huge into the big heavy smoke and peated whiskeys, so I would not recommend starting people who are new to whiskey on that. Go a little bit the sweeter, smoother route, get them into it that way, and then you can kind of ease people up into your heavy peated and smoked whiskeys.
Ready for a couple drops?
Yeah.
There we go. Just enough to change the specific gravity, let a few notes out.
It really brings out that raisin like mad with the little drops of water, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's something like toasty and bready coming out too.
There is.
Whatever the yeast they used, that strain, whatever they're using is...
Now, is this the only
bready
whiskey that this distiller puts out?
No, they have Brimstone, True Blue, and a single malt
Gotcha.
as well.
And out of Texas.
Out of Texas, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, we don't get this up here. This has a much more limited distribution than, say, Balcones, my go-to corn whiskey.
Wow, I really do enjoy this Baby Blue. This is my kind of whiskey. Very smooth, very nice flavors to it. A lot of fruit in there. You really get some caramel, almost even a little bit of that graham cracker kind of comes through on the finish with a very nice, smooth finish and not a lot of burn. This is one that you can definitely sip on. I would consider this a daily whiskey. If you were to come home from work, this would be a go-to bottle that I think you could enjoy every day, and definitely try it neat first.
Absolutely.
I do like mine on the rocks a lot, and it's not necessarily for what the water does to change the flavor. It's more about I just kind of like my whiskey chilled. So it's because this I very much enjoy neat. And since it doesn't have that high ethanol burn, it's really smooth.
In fact, the water actually kind of brought the ethanol up a little bit.
A little bit. It really did.
So yeah, enjoyable kind of entry level, much richer than most corn whiskeys.
Yeah, and
Small barrels.
Yeah, and it has that. What's the term? I guess I'm looking for with how oily it is. You kind of get a little bit of that waxy
kind of a chewy
aftertaste.
mouthfeel.
Yeah, you can feel it still sitting in there for quite some time after you've taken your first drink. But I actually kind of like that.
There's a nice kind of a little tannin, a little kind of astringency in the finish, which is not bad. Almost, the finish is kind of challenging.
I like it.
So entry level on the palate, challenging on the finish.
Right. I like it though.
Beautiful on the nose.
Yeah, this is definitely a whiskey that I would highly recommend. I really would. What about you? This is one that if you can get your hands on it.
For what it is, it's incredibly interesting. I love that they use blue corn.
Right.
I don't know of anyone else that is doing that.
Right.
I'm going to have a little more.
Yeah, go for it. From both of us, we do truly appreciate you checking out our channel. And if you're digging it, go ahead and subscribe. If not, no worries. We just do appreciate you checking it out. And from both of us, make sure to check out some Baby Blue if you can get your hands on it. It's really good. And once again, thank you so much for checking out the show.